da 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 da. I realize these 80s action TV shows, you guys never get them, but you know what? I grew up with them and I love it, so now you're just going to have to deal with it. We are going to test whether the proportion of males who are vegetarian is less than the proportion of females who are vegetarian. So we have some data on males and females and whether they're vegetarian or not. It looks like we got a whole lot of males because we did this survey at Comic-Con. I don't know, I just picked numbers that give us nice answers, okay? So we're gonna start with our null and alternative. I need a null and alternative. All I have is a bunch of keys and a watch. Hang on, watch this. I knew I could make a marker. That's only funny if you got the song at the beginning. The rest of you are thinking, what in the world is wrong with him? Okay, I want to test whether the proportion who are vegetarian for males is less than the proportion of females. So that's easy to write in symbols, less than, but I need to be careful which proportion is this? Am I talking the proportion of vegetarians who are male or the proportion of males who are vegetarian? Let's skip that for just 1 minute. I know my null is going to be a opposite, so it's greater than or equal to. Alpha, we'll set it at 0.05. Now, returning to that question, which one is it? Is my proportion 1 going to be 30 out of the 50, or is it going to be 30 out of the 600? There's 2 different options here. Really, we could argue there's like 6 different options here. I stand corrected, there are 8 of these options, not 6, depending on what do you call group 1. Is group 1 the males, or is group 1 the vegetarians, or is group 1 the females? So I could do all 8 of them, but it would take, I have no idea how much time it would take me because I lost my watch to make a marker. But I don't have time to do all those. I think if I do 2 examples, it'll illustrate what I want to show you. And the 2 are going to be vegetarians who are male for group 1, or males who are that's totally you probably can't see that anyway. Let's pretend you can't read how misspelled that word is. So in other words, 30 out of 50 or the 30 out of 600, that's what we're going to call our group 1. Now, which of these gives us the best z-score? Well, here's the way we would calculate the z-score for each of them. For the first group, where we were doing 30 out of 50, our other proportion is going to be the 570 out of 750. There's our 2 proportions. For the pooled proportion, it's easy because you can read it right off the table. If this was group 1 and that was group 2, here's our pooled proportions, 600 out of the 800. 600 out of 800, it shows up all 4 places. There's how we would calculate our z-score. But is it better than the other way? Here we're using 30 out of 60, which was going down the column instead. So the other proportion would be 20 out of 200. And the pooled would be 50 out of 800, 50 out of 800. And so if we calculate these, we want to know which one's giving us a better test, but I don't have a calculator. All I have is a marker and my glasses. Well, I made myself a calculator. Okay, so I'm going to type all this into my calculator, and that gives me negative 2.53. which I can't write on the board because I used the marker to make my calculator. This joke is really starting to hamper my teaching. That's okay, maybe I can write it with my calculator. For that one. Now, what's it going to be for the other one? Well, let me hurry and punch all those numbers into my calculator, and I get the exact same value. Seriously, it does not matter which way you do it. You're gonna get the right answer. That's one reason I love these kinds of questions on exams, except you of course can't put in all these numbers in your calculator, so I will help you to calculate those on the exam. But no matter which way you're thinking about it, you're gonna be able to get it right. Now, if we had switched these 2 proportions, instead of getting a negative number, we would have gotten a positive number. But that also would have switched what we had right here, and so we'd end up still getting the same p-value, which incidentally is negative 2.53, 0.0057. Now, do I want my area to the left or to the right? It's a left-tailed test, and I have kept proportion 1 as proportion 1, meaning we want to test whether the male proportion who are vegetarian is less than the female. And so as long as you keep those consistent, you can get it right. I did keep that consistent, so it is left-tailed that I'm. So our small p-value means we reject, and we can say that the males have a smaller proportion than females. Now, that doesn't matter whether you're thinking about the proportion of vegetarians who are males or the proportion of males who are vegetarian. It's the same thing. It's the same data over here. So, bottom line, if you make that 2x2 table, sometimes it's a lot easier. And whatever way you do it, you're probably going to be able to get it right as long as you can keep yourself consistent.